This is Elsa Dutton, as played by actor Isabel May, and you're going to be hard-pressed to find someone who says her acting throughout 1883 wasn't award-worthy. The harshest criticism is that her narration was a little bit over the top, and her accent came on too thick. Hey, don't get mad at me, I'm just the messenger here. What about Faith Hill? Did she overachieve? The bar was higher for Tim McGraw as James Dutton and much higher for Sam Elliott as Shea Brennan, but it was the highest for Taylor Sheridan. Like it or not, Sam Elliott, 1883 is forever going to be compared to 4 seasons of Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is all over this. We're tainted by Yellowstone, which on some level I can't stand.
Does it hold up? I'm Billy Dukes, and first, I want your opinion. Leave a letter grade in the comments section below. We actually asked you a similar question a week or so ago and got a wide range of answers and emotions. Anger, confusion, denial. There was a whole 7 stages thing going on, but now we've all had enough time to see through it and make an unemotional assessment, right? Today, 3 people who've watched this show and analyzed it from the very beginning will weigh in with letter grades and examples of where the show hit and missed. The Dutton Rules podcast team got together for a roundtable on the topic, and you can feel free to find the links to that full episode in the description section below. Addison Hager, Sterling Whitaker, and myself are of different generations and backgrounds, so you'll surely agree with one of us, right? Yeah, we'll see. Tap, follow, and listen closely as we grade 1883, starting with Sterling Whitaker, senior writer at Taste of Country.
I'd have to give it a couple of different grades. I give it an A+ for intent and sort of execution, in terms of you look at the epic scale of this thing and you can't believe anybody ever brought it to fruition in the amount of time that it was done. And for that, I can't find any fault, because I surely couldn't have done any of it. It's not like I can second guess any of that. I actually agree with the A- in terms of what you actually got. I don't want to go down to a B+, but performing wise, great performances and all that. But there really are some things that could have been tightened up. For my personal, I could have lost every last one of the guest stars. I thought all of that was a little bit superfluous. Tom Hanks, you don't need Tom Hanks in there. It was just kind of to put Tom Hanks in there. Taylor Sheridan writing himself in, he didn't need to play that character. Anybody could have done it, so there is a little bit of squeezing, shoehorning some stuff in that wasn't directly related to the show, and that brings it down a little bit. But still, incredibly well acted, incredibly well directed. Cinematography is obviously exceptional.
So it's a 2-part grade from Sterling. A+ for vision, A- for execution, with some pointed criticism for the celebrity cameos. Sorry about it, Tom Hanks. Thumbs up this video if you agree, or drop a comment below, or better yet, email staff@tasteofcountry.com, because it's always a conversation. Addison Hager, the host of the Dutton Rules podcast, is up next.
I'd say overall, I'd give it, I'm going down a little bit lower than y'all, but I'd say overall a B+. And I know some of that has to do with, obviously I loved this 1883 oozes like historical facts and all that, and that's so great. And obviously that hooks, that Western type of drama hooks a lot of people. For me, I love, Yellowstone a little bit more of the romance drama, if you will. Something that's just a little bit easier to watch and you don't have to be so focused on it. So I think that's a little bit where that B+ comes from. I think what's interesting is even the little cameos that we had, and I don't feel like we saw that on season 4 of Yellowstone. And to your point as well, I felt like it was just a little bit forced, where I was like, all these guest stars we really could have done without, and they didn't add anything to the plot. If anything, I kind of felt like they were a little forced. But I'd say I came into the show with a B- on the acting, and I'd say acting in and of itself, I'd give it for sure an A. Faith Hill really nailed it. I was not, as you guys know, love Faith Hill, but man, I set the bar incredibly low for her acting abilities, just because she hadn't really played on much before. And goodness, a show like this where it's nothing but just heart and soul, and not as we know, not lighthearted. I didn't have many expectations there, and she blew any that I had out of the water. And Shea, LaMonica Garrett, like all of them. Elsa, or Isabel May, I was just thoroughly impressed. But yeah, I'd say overall for me, it was a little lower, but I think a lot of that's just personal. I had a hard time sometimes, just wanting to stay hooked. Sometimes I just felt like it was a little bit drawn out, and that just might have been, the type of show I enjoy watching or not.
So to recap, it's an A from Sterling, a B+ from Addison. That leaves me, Billy Dukes, and, spoiler alert, I took exception with one particular episode and wondered if this show could be the kind of addiction that always marks great shows. So, the A+ season of Taylor Sheridan's shows so far, for me personally, was season 2 of Yellowstone. This is the Beck brothers plotline. I really loved it. It was great fun to watch. It was brutal and vicious at times, but I wanted to come back to it, and I just burned through that entire season really quickly. I thought the acting was good. It developed a lot of plot lines. So that was like the A+ version. I didn't think season 4 of Yellowstone was an A+ by any stretch of the imagination. There was far too many loose ends. 1883, if we're holding it against what I think is the perfect season of this franchise, I have to give 1883 an A-. And here's why. One, there was at least one, if not 2 episodes that I struggled with in terms of just good TV. Episode 7, I think in particular, I thought there was just so much going on. And that was the episode where Charlie Goodnight appears out of nowhere. Taylor Sheridan's got that crazy accent, and then the tornado, and then there's bandits and cookies coming and going left and right. Like it felt very rushed and kind of thrown together. So I take a couple points off for that. And then also, I don't know if I'm just scrolling through the channels one day and I see an episode of 1883 on that I'm going to stop and watch ever. And I think great shows have that ability to bring you right back into it in the rerun stage. I'm good with 1883. I saw it. I loved it. I don't want to dive in necessarily. The want to repeat this experience isn't there for me. So I take a couple of points off for that, and I land on an A- for 1883. All right, last chance for comments below or at staff@tasteofcountry.com. I'm Billy Dukes with Taste of Country. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for watching.